Welcome to Let's Talk Tactics. Obviously, you'd be expecting us to talk some tactics here with the iPad, but we're actually wanting to know what you think, and that's why I said this in the comments below. Leave your comments in the game before and after, and we will read out the best comments to you guys here and discuss your points, because you do have some great points, and I love to have a discussion. I've tried doing it with Jason, it doesn't work, so it's great to have you guys on here so I can talk to you about it. So first comment to look up is from Tanner Barnett, and it was a concern, definitely concerning the Arsenal-Manchester United game beforehand. I'd have James Wilson start over Van Persie. Van Persie is shown age and Wilson is younger and quicker. Absolutely spot on. You're spot on there. We talked about this with the True Geordie. He's not a big fan of Van Persie, and neither am I. I'm a big fan of his technical ability, but he just doesn't look. I don't think it's his legs. I think it's his effort and his mentality. I don't think he's got that same aggression that he had before, because he was always a great player, but he wasn't as aggressive in the game against Arsenal, which was his old team. Even after you were spot on, when Wilson came on, they looked like they had a different dynamic. They looked definitely faster in when they were pressing up top, and he held the ball in great towards the end of the game, which was crucial, and I think that was why he was definitely a better choice to come to take the game towards the finishing line rather than Van Persie. So again, great point. Keep commenting. Next comment, Joe M. I don't hate La Liga, but this exemplifies why I feel Premier League is better. A game between Burnley and Chelsea is far more competitive and exciting than Real versus Barcelona. However, when it comes to top table fixtures in the La Liga, it has the BPL beat. El Clasico is thrilling as the Madrid derby. I don't know if you mean that was then a game like Burnley and Chelsea is far more competitive than Real versus Barcelona, maybe Real Betis or Real Vallecano against Barcelona, because you kind of contradict your point. I don't know. You might, but you are right. This is what, in terms of the competitiveness outside of the El Clasico. I did say this before. I said it on the last tactics video. The Premier League and the way teams are playing against each other, not only the way these smaller teams are coming up against your Chelseas, Man Cities, Liverpools, Man Uniteds, they are fearless, and that's what makes this competition the best in the world and the most entertaining. Yes, Real Madrid and Barcelona I still think are better than these teams technically. Maybe not Chelsea, we'll see in the Champions League, but I think Real Madrid at the moment are like the peaking team in Europe. They're definitely better than most teams. But they're coming up against teams and they're rolling them 5-0, 4-0, and so are Barcelona. That's not happening in the Premier League. What team has won 4 or 5-0 in the top flight in the last few games? Not a lot of them. So you are right in that. There is still nothing that comes to the El Clasico for me, apart from the Old Firm derby, which is coming in January. Celtic versus Rangers. Come on! All right, next one. So, Diegs V. A very good point here, and it's a long one, but I'll stick with me, I'll read it. High pressure on Arsenal will force an already unsettled, discombobulated. I said discombobulated. I'm sick, sorry. Discombobulated poor Arsenal into a living train wreck. If I were Man United, seriously go for the kill. High pressure, just constant attack. Once they hit a goal or two, sit back, absorb the pressure, take the 3 points. Arsenal, meanwhile, need to hit them on the counter. I feel like a bit of space starts to open up. Players not tracking back, Welbs, Sanchez with their work rates and runs might not be enough. Need a stronger midfield for supply. 2-0 United. You're very close. You're right on up till Giroud's goal in the last minute, and you're right. But putting high pressure on Arsenal was one thing that Manchester United should have done, but they didn't do as well. Instead, they relied on David De Gea to make a lot of good saves. This game could have went either way. If Wilshere put that ball in the back of the net, Arsenal would have went on and won that game, I have no doubt. What Manchester United done throughout most of the game is what your point here was towards the end of the game, is they sat back and they absorbed the pressure, they took the punches, and then they hit them with what seemed was kind of a lucky goal. Gibbs deflected it into his own net, but then from there, that was when Manchester United show what they can do, and they grow, they went forward. Arsenal did try to get them on the counter-attack, and they got punished. So your point is somewhat right. I just think that Manchester United should have high pressured, but they got away with not high pressuring. Again, it was Arsenal's fault for not putting them to bed. And it showed the weaknesses in their midfield, I think, because they were just so easily ran over once they went 1-0 down. And I think Manchester United just countered that. And it's a good point. I think Arsenal, a little too much credit given to Man United, because I don't think that they'd done that intentionally. I just think that David De Gea kept them in the game and they grew in confidence. Last point, Azad Rohala. You never mentioned Isco, not even once. He has been fantastic for Real Madrid. Everything was spot on. Did you know Modric is injured and out for 2 to 3 months? Please share more game analysis regarding Real Madrid. Please talk on Isco's importance next time. I apologise for that, because I think I'm borderline fellation Isco sometimes, right? I'm always talking about him. Getting thumbs up over here. It's between him and Pirlo. If I was to have a weird threesome with two of my football players, it would probably be me, Isco and Pirlo. go out for some dinner, wine, romance, dine, and then whatever happens after happens, you know what I mean? But these guys are two of my favourite players. And when I talk about Isco, I talk about him in the Champions League because I definitely apologise. I slipped away. I was too busy focusing on Toni Kroos. But Isco, for me, has been this spark this season. He reminds me of a young Iniesta. I think he's a little stronger and a little quicker, which is just frightening to think about. And I will focus on him more because what he does is he provides a different movement than James Rodriguez in behind the strikers. They've toyed with James in there, and now they've moved him out to the left. And I think that's the right decision because Isco is encompassing an all-round attacking midfielder, and he tracks back as well. And I definitely agree with your point. I need to focus on him more when we do the next Real Madrid tactics. I'll specifically be talking about Isco's movement and the way he collects the ball from deep and he finds those intricate passes. He reminds me of a combination of Hazard and Fabregas. Picture them two together and that's what he reminds you of. If you agree or disagree, leave your comments below. We love to respond to your guys' comments. Keep commenting on the videos. We'll pick our best comments for next week after this weekend's games with Barcelona, Valencia and Man City, Southampton. And stay tuned for more tactics. We love you guys. Subscribe to TIT Sports.